So hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Angela, and it's a pleasure to host this insightful webinar today with Rakovina Therapeutics. Founded in 2021, Rakovina Therapeutics has been intent on its mission toward improving the lives of those battling cancer, and we're thrilled to unveil how Rakovina Therapeutics is harnessing the power of artificial intelligence, specifically deep docking platform technology, to facilitate the virtual screening of billions of molecular structures with remarkable speed and precision, enabling the acceleration of new treatment discovery. We are fortunate to have three veterans in the biotech, health, and pharmaceutical research sectors on the panel today, and we'll introduce them shortly. Today, we will be discussing how they're leveraging AI to reduce research times and costs, and the impact of their innovations on research on cancer patients in the biotech industry. And they are recently recognized as one of the top 10 undervalued biotechnology industry stocks by the Globe and Mail. And so we'll be talking about opportunities for investment and collaboration with Rakovina Therapeutics as well. So for some housekeeping, if at any point you have any questions, please use the Q&A function below, and questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. Before we turn it over to the team, I'd like to remind everyone that certain statements made during today's presentation may contain forward-looking information within the meaning of applicable securities laws. Such statements may include estimates, projections, goals, forecasts, or assumptions that are based on current expectations and are not representative of historical facts or information. We want to be clear that such forward-looking statements represent the company's beliefs about future events, plans, objectives, which are inherently uncertain and are subject to numerous risks and uncertainties that may cause the actual results or performance to differ materially from such statements. So please see the company's website for further disclosure. But with that, I will turn it over to Jeffrey Bacha, Rakovina's Executive Chairman, to kick us off. Hello there.
Thank you, Angela. And thanks to everybody for joining us for today's webinar. We know your time is valuable, and we appreciate your interest in learning more about our recent announcement that puts Rakovina Therapeutics squarely in the forefront of AI-driven drug development aimed at transforming and improving the lives of cancer patients. With me today are Professor Mads Dalgaard, Rakovina Therapeutics President and Chief Scientific Officer, and Professor Artem Cherkasov, Scientific Advisory Board Member and Senior Advisor for AI and Medicinal Chemistry. As you're aware, AI is making headlines everywhere, becoming integrated into our daily lives, driving innovation across industries, and revolutionizing the way we work, communicate, and interact with technology. Last week, we unveiled a transformative partnership with Professor Cherkasov's cutting-edge deep docking AI platform. This collaboration grants Rakovina Therapeutics exclusive access to the platform for DNA damage response targets and enables us to own and develop novel drug candidates derived from the research. Now, deep docking has already showcased its effectiveness in identifying promising drug candidates, notably during the COVID-19 pandemic. Rakovina Therapeutics is privileged to harness its capabilities for DNA damage response targets as we strive to rapidly develop life-changing cancer therapies for patients. I'd now like to invite Professor Cherkasov and Dalgaard to further introduce the deep docking platform, highlight its track record of success, and elucidate how it will revolutionize our research at Rakovina Therapeutics. Gentlemen?
Thanks, Jeff. So I was using computers for drug discovery for more than a couple decades. So I started very early when there was not just AI, but just computers in drug discovery. And even at the time, it really changed the way we work on discovering new drugs. So computers made things so much more efficient, faster, and reliable. And using computers for drug discovery, when we simulate in virtual reality the action of a potential drug before we try it in the wet lab, was a state of the art for many years. But things really took the second sort of revolutionary step during the COVID pandemics, when the time frame changed dramatically. So everything had to be developed right now. So we didn't have years to develop new drugs. So the challenge was to find something for COVID in a matter of months and to find something which works well. Fortunately, AI achieved the level of maturity in 2020 right on time. And so that's when my group developed a platform called Deep Docking, when we brought AI on top of just computing in drug discovery. And it changed things thousands of folds. So we were able to identify initial drug candidates against COVID in a matter of a couple of weeks. We published initial paper in as early as in February of 2020 with some ideas how drugs should look like. And we published the first real paper in March 11 of 2020, when the day the pandemic was called. So people just had a red flash in the news, while we already published a real scientific paper with 1,000 candidate compounds against COVID. And later on, some of them been taken into early drug prototypes. So just to summarize, computers made things so much more powerful. And when AI was brought into computational drug discovery, it made things a few hundred folds faster, even on top of that. So right now, using Deep Docking platform, we can match potential disease target to potential drug in a matter of several months, and we can run through billions of potential drug candidates very rapidly. And some estimates say that our sort of success rate is several thousand, up to 5,000 folds better than the times when we didn't use AI.
And I can continue here. This is Mads Daugart, President and Chief Scientific Officer at Rakovina Therapeutics. We are looking at a new era for Rakovina Therapeutics. The integration of Deep Docking AI will dramatically reduce our development time, and it will also allow us to prioritize lead compounds in unprecedented speed. The DNA damage and response research space is very well set up for artificial intelligence deployment. And that is mainly because of the vast amount of information already out there that is available in the public space. And all that information is used by the artificial intelligence to really produce and perform in the most optimal manner. I want to just put things a little bit into perspective. When the first hallmark paper on DNA damage response components as a target came out in, I think it was 2005, it took 9 years from that time until the first drug was approved by the FDA. 9 years. With the AI, we will be able to cut down that time to months. And that is really the most important and revolutionizing thing about this AI integration. And then I want to remind everyone also that DNA damage, mutations, and defects in cancer is very common. About 75% of all patients have some sort of abnormalities in their DNA damage response. So this is a huge group of patients that can potentially benefit from Rakovina Therapeutics products.
Yeah, I could also comment that the use of AI doesn't just make things only faster, it makes things better. So by bringing generative AI technologies, we can de-risk the potential drug development quite significantly, because we can model in many of potential side effects or toxicities and on and on and on. So the potential success rate of drug developed with AI should be much higher than drug developed without AI. So that's still the work in progress. This is the cutting edge of science. There is ongoing race for first AI developed drug right now, and we are joining it because we have decades of expertise in computation drug discovery, and we have our proprietary platforms, and we have a lot of experience in doing so.
And I can add also that Rakovina Therapeutics is kind of special in the way because we are extremely well set up for integration with AI. We have a completely integrated platform where the AI and the wet lab is directly connected to each other. It means that we can move fast. We can validate AI developed molecules very, very quickly in the wet lab in our infrastructure. We are going to start deploying the AI to develop a best-in-class PARP1 selective inhibitor with brain penetration. And that is mainly because there's plenty of information out there that we can use for the AI in that aspect. The timelines for this will be probably 8 to 12 months for the AI deep docking. Then there'll be a couple of months for molecular synthesis and initial validation. Then a preclinical package will have to be developed. That'll take another couple of months. All in all, we will be able to move very fast with the initial asset developed. At the same time, we will also deploy the AI to our current lead dual molecular compounds in the KT-3000 series. And in that series, we are going to look at improvements for stability and also brain penetration. And that's where the AI really can help us out here. After that, we will be looking at additional targets in the DNA damage response. And that will be building the portfolio for Rakovina moving forward.
Thank you, Mads. Just one point of clarification. That initial screening of 5 to 7 billion drug candidates is 8 to 12 weeks, not months. That's one I need to make sure we're clear with that. But another notable advantage of AI, besides significantly reducing the time and cost of identifying lead candidates, is the predictability of its timeline. Using an analogy akin to mining, we can liken our process to staking out specific real estate, in this case, a biological target, knowing precisely when we'll begin exploration and with reasonable certainty when we'll obtain the core samples for analysis. And while we're not going to be unearthing uranium or gold in these samples, we do anticipate finding the next life-changing drug candidates. And all this can happen in weeks to months instead of years. As Mads said, integration of the deep docking platform into Rakovina Therapeutics' well-established laboratory infrastructure at the University of British Columbia will enable us to pinpoint and validate preclinical lead candidates to target critical DNA damage response pathways with unprecedented speed and accuracy. Now, we're all hearing about how AI is part of many industries and growing and impacting, including ours. We believe what's unique about Rakovina Therapeutics' approach is the deep docking AI platform, where AI works as a catalyst, not as the central focus or end goal. Our value proposition remains centered around the discovery and development of novel cancer therapies that we own. AI serves as a driving force, propelling us forward toward this objective by drastically reducing timelines, enhancing decision-making, streamlining operations, and uncovering valuable insights in our mission to identify and develop life-changing cancer treatments. Our goal is to patent promising lead candidates and advance to human clinical trials through collaboration with pharmaceutical partners. With recent announcements of highly lucrative preclinical licensing deals in the DNA damage response arena, we're confident in our ability to generate significant shareholder value in the near term. We are very enthusiastic about this new chapter for Rakovina Therapeutics and look forward to providing updates as we go forward. Angela, we'd be happy now to take questions.
Hi, I'm back. So let's jump into questions. There are other companies using AI for drug discovery. How will Rakovina Therapeutics differentiate itself from those competitors?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. There are other companies that are starting to use AI in drug development. Most of them are contract research organizations, so they differ being set apart and being their own entity and not fully integrated in the pipelines. So that's one major difference. And then I again want to stress that the stronghold for our setup is that we have the AI and the wet lab completely integrated into each other, so they can inform each other on the go. And that's a very, very important iterative process that we will make use of.
Great. Next question, bringing a new molecule to market can cost more than 1 billion and take up to 14 years, and most fail in clinical trials. How can AI transform this paradigm?
So I can comment that the latest numbers are already 6 billion. That's what it takes to bring one drug to the market, making the situation really difficult for the future in principle. And so the biggest hope is now AI, because like I've mentioned, it can significantly de-risk the process of development, because you can factor in what that molecule should and should not do, which previously wasn't much the case. That's how all those failures compose up to 95% of drugs entering clinical trials. So hope is that AI will reduce that number significantly, so the failure will be much lower than 95%. Again, the numbers still need to be proven, because this is ongoing process. This is most recent development. But all the experts in the field, knowing what AI in drug discovery is, have the highest hope that this is the technology that will finally change this trend when developing drugs becomes more and more expensive with time.
Thank you, Artem. And Jeff, this one's for you. What are your capital market plans, and will the company be undertaking financing?
Thank you for that question. Ultimately, our goal is to secure necessary funding to advance our product development pipeline and ultimately bring innovative cancer therapies to patients, while also delivering value to our shareholders and stakeholders. This new partnership with AI represents a significant milestone in our journey toward developing these therapies. In terms of our capital markets plans, we're actively considering various financing options in support of our research and development efforts. This could involve seeking investment from VCs, institutional investors, public or private offerings, or partnerships with larger pharmaceutical companies that could provide both capital and expertise that would allow us to accelerate our drug development programs.
Great to hear. And we have one more question. Can you elaborate on what the AI is practically doing that is improving the likelihood of identifying a better candidate molecule?
I can take that. So one thing DeepDoc in particular, and I in general, can do is to speed up the process of virtual screening. So we can try many more compounds against the disease target in virtual world in a period of time. And that's what changed, is that we could screen, say, 2-3 million molecules that way a number of years ago. Now we're screening up to 40-50 billion molecules on a routine basis against the target. So our coverage of a chemical space, what we call, goes up millions of folds eventually. So we can screen times more compounds than we used to, because current chemical libraries already achieve trillion molecule scales. So the coverage is much broader. And the second factor is, like I mentioned, we can de-risk this process also, as we can pre-compute a lot of parameters such as brain penetration in case of particular Rakovina Therapeutic products. We can in fact factor in, so compounds should be able to get into the brain, rather than we find some drugs and then we try to optimize them, eventually spending time and resources making them more brain penetrable. Right now, this goes in very early on. We dial it in as we start looking for compounds out there in the chemical universe.
Thank you, Artem. Well, that concludes our Q&A part of the session today. Very insightful, and thank you three again for your time. And thank you everyone who has joined us. If you have any questions or need more information, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. A replay of today's webinar will be available in the coming days, so please keep an eye out on the social media channels and subscribe to Rakovina Therapeutics newsletter for updates coming. And you could do that through the company's website. And if you want to meet this team one-on-one, definitely reach out and we'll be in touch with you. And be sure to add Rakovina Therapeutics to your watch list. That's the ticker symbol RKV. So thank you everyone, and have a wonderful day. Thank you, Mads, Jeff, and Artem.